I'm Connor Rother. I'm joined by Bellator middleweight Dalton Rosta, who's coming off a first round TKO over Mark Gardner at Bellator 253 this past Friday. What's up, Dalton? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for taking time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Now, I know you almost had like a 10-month layoff before this fight. Returned on Friday, new weight class, third straight TKO win. I mean, you must be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I feel great. Like you said, 10-month layoff though. I mean, that's the only negative side to it. So I'm hoping for a quick turnaround after this. I know everybody's trying to fight at this point, but hopefully they give me a quick turnaround.
Yeah. Did you get any like bangs, bruises from this, or?
No, nothing at all. I believe I watched the fight back once. I only got hit twice, and it was both two leg kicks, and that was it. And so nothing, no injuries, no bruises, didn't get banged up, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you dominated. I mean, the entire first round, but he did get that one armbar kind of locked in. How dangerous was that from your perspective?
Uh, it was deep, but I mean that happens a lot at practice. Not necessarily getting caught in submissions all the time. I don't, but every once in a while you get caught in a submission and they're deep, and just because they're deep and they're threatening it doesn't mean that they're going to get the finish. And I was comfortable in there. I was calm and collected. I've been there before. My coaches are very high level in
Hmm.
jiu-jitsu, very high level black belts, very good, and I roll with them every day. So I'm not scared to grapple or scared of any submission game from anybody. And I do very well on a regular basis in jiu-jitsu alone, let alone mixing in my jiu-jitsu with my MMA. When you add punches in there, it's a whole different ball game, as you've seen. When I started dropping those hammer fists, that definitely loosened it up. He had it tight. It was in there deep, but it wasn't on the fulcrum of the elbow. I had my arm out just enough, so he was pulling and hipping in, and really squeezing and pulling his. He was trying to pull me down in whenever I was
Hmm.
stacking him. So he was doing everything correct to finish it, but he didn't have it on the fulcrum point. And even if he did, he would have had to snap my arm. I wasn't going to tap. He would have had to snap it.
Yeah. And obviously, you got the fight to the ground, but did you feel like you got to showcase a little more of your striking this time around?
Yeah, not as much as I would like. Again, once again, uh, I feel like once I hit him with a few strikes, and I mean, I got to light him up a little bit for short bursts, short periods of time, and then he started trying to wrestle with me. And the first takedown I got, like the hip toss, I mean, that's just second nature for me. I mean, when you're mixing things up with MMA, you're mixing your striking with your wrestling. I mean, that just goes to show like how well versed I've become in
Hmm.
MMA, where he's in on me, and yeah, I would like to exit to strike some more because I had a clear advantage on our feet, and I believe in my striking more than anything. But when it comes to mixing things up, and whenever he's coming in trying to get that takedown, as soon as I landed a couple heavy shots, and he starts diving in, he got a hold of me, and the underhook was there, and I just hip tossed him. And like I said, I didn't even that thought didn't even go through my head. It was just like that underhook was there. He came into me high, and the hip toss just happened. It was just
Yeah.
like it was just second nature. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't think about doing that. It just happened. So I mean, that's in my head and in my coach's head. That's a very good thing. And even though I'd like to strike, I took that as a positive, like knowing that like in situations like that in the future, that's there, and that I have that ability to transition from one thing to the other without it being a thought. So that's a positive I take away from that. But I would also have liked to strike more. Whenever I got to the ground after that hip toss, though, I wanted to land a couple strikes were on the ground, just soften them up a little bit,
Hmm.
and then I actually tried exiting. If you look back, I went to push off his body to exit and get back up to our feet. And as soon as I did that, I took my knee out of the middle when I pushed off of him and allowed him to get full guard. And he locked down that full guard from there. And the guy had some slick jujitsu. Like he was good from the closed guard and stuff. And I tried posturing up and standing over top of him, land some strikes. Hopefully, he would open up his guard, and I would have got out like that and back to our feet. But then he went for the underhook under the leg, and he went for the armbar. So that's how I ended up in that position. And that was me just kind of trying to rush my way back to my feet in a normal circumstance, um, where like I was just fighting and my target wasn't really to be on our feet the entire time. I would have got out of that, or I would have taken my time there, been more patient, but I was rushing out of that a little bit, and that's why I got caught in that armbar. But I was definitely trying to get back up to feet, and there was one other instance when once I got out of his guard and we got up to our feet, I just stood there. I was waiting for him to get up on his own, but he didn't. Referee Mike Beltron stood it up, and that's where I wanted to be. If I really wanted to stay on the ground, I would have got back on top of him, tried to pass his guard, but that's not where I wanted to be. Landed a couple more big strikes after that. He went diving in again, but this time I backed out, landed a couple more strikes. He shot again, backed out again, and then whenever I came in again this time, I felt like he was so hurt, at least in my mind, that he was just diving desperately for takedowns. So I came in hard, and I came in a little bit too hard. I smothered myself, gave him a little bit more room to grab me, and he kind of like pulled me down with him. He almost pulled half guard, if you would say.
Yeah.
So, ended up on top of him again, where I didn't want to be, but I mean, I'm comfortable on top too. Obviously, it's a strength of mine, ground and pound. So I got to land some big shots there too, and that's a very good part of my game as well. But that's not where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know? So either way, I was fine, but I wanted to showcase my striking more, and we ended up on top. So I just took what was given to me and finished the fight like that.
Yeah. Did you realize like how bad his cut was? Were you surprised that it got stopped between that first and second?
I seen the blood. It was when he was in on my leg and he drove me to the cage. This was actually something we were working on at practice. Me and one of my teammates, I put in kind of almost that Kimura grip, reached around on the far side for the overhook on his one arm. So I got a one-on-one wrist control and just sat my hips away from him, trying to like sit on his head almost, and just landed hammer fists from there and elbows. And that's the position we were working. So I wasn't even trying to get my leg out. I was purposely sitting there. It was an opportunity for me to land some big shots. He drove me to the cage, did it again. And then he rolled under for what I believe he was trying to go for was deep half, but he didn't get it. And then I just stepped back over his back and landed some more shots. And I heard the 10-second bell. I was trying to land some more shots. He went for a reversal. There's no need for me to waste energy to fight it off. So I knew how much time was left and saved my energy for the next round. And then we ended up not coming back out for the next round.
Yeah.
So,
and I know you called out Dillon Danis after this one too, but just like, not even just like him, but like, are you just like looking for like a step up in competition at this point?
Yes. But I really do want to fight him. He's a step up. He's really good jiu-jitsu. He's legit. His jiu-jitsu is better than mine. I'm gonna be honest here. His jiu-jitsu is better than mine, but I believe my top pressure, my wrestling, and my top jiu-jitsu negates his bottom a lot. Like his jiu-jitsu, just pure jiu-jitsu is better. But when you mix it up in the cage and my top pressure, I think my top pressure negates all of the stuff he does on bottom if it ends up there. And ground and pound opens up a lot of things for myself. And if we're being honest, we're not going to the ground if I fight him. If he accepts that fight, if he takes the fight, we're not going to the ground, keeping it standing. He's going to be diving in on my legs over and over again. I'm going to be sprawling. He's not going to be able to take me down. He's going to start going for desperation things like Aminari roll, like I spoke of in the interview after, pulling guard, whatever. But I'm just going to keep it standing, and I will pick him apart. I will knock him out in the first round.
Yeah. Do you think, like, how likely do you think it is that Bellator would give you a fight like that?
I mean, really, we're under the same management team paradigm, and so there might be a little it might be a little bit difficult to work through that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be, if my management team wants to set up that fight, it's gonna be whether he says yes or no. So and I will be sure to update everybody on that. If we get to the point of asking him for the fight and he says no, I will make it known, because he likes to troll a lot of people and he likes to call out a lot of people. And if he says no to this fight, I'm going to make it known. So everybody knows. And I mean, I'm not as big of a name as he is, but you put something out there like that and he denies a fight, then everybody's gonna catch wind of it. MMA sources and stuff are gonna be publishing it, so he'll get exposed for who he really is.
Yeah. Have you heard any like feedback from him? Like any comments on like Twitter or anything like that?
No, he knows better. He's not gonna respond.
Yeah. Do you have any other names like on your mind besides him?
Honestly, no. I mean, I don't want to be that guy that says I'll take anybody. I mean, I will. That's my mindset. I'll fight anybody. But, I mean, really, I really want to fight him. That's who's on my mind. He's been on my mind for a couple fights now, but I didn't want to be the guy that I get one fight in Bellator and I start calling guys out right away. I wanted to prove my worth first. And I think I did that. And now, I mean, I'm 3-0. He's 2-0. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, world champ, IBJJF, whatever. He was 80. I don't know. Did he compete in 80 cc's? I'm not 100%.
I think he
sure.
did.
I don't follow jiu-jitsu that much, but I know his jiu-jitsu is legit. And he's 2-0. I'm 3-0. He's a welterweight. And I put that in quotations because he hasn't made the welterweight limit yet. He hasn't made 170. And until you make 170, you're the weight class above that. Anything above 171.0, if it's a non-title bout, is the weight class up. If you're fighting at 170, guess it's 175. Guess what? You're a middleweight, buddy. So I'm a middleweight. He's a middleweight. I'm 3-0. He's 2-0. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I've proven I'm a well-rounded fighter. I have my strengths with wrestling and boxing, and he has his strength with jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, there's good arguments there to be made for this matchup. And if he could choose to ignore it, he can choose to say no. But it's what makes sense. I mean, him calling out John Jones is 205 pounds. And if he turns down the fight because he's like, oh, he's a middleweight and I'm a welterweight, tell him to come down to welterweight. Buddy, I can't make welterweight. I can't. Like, I'm too low body fat as it is. I walk around at 200 pounds. I'm not a huge middleweight either. I mean, I was underweight whenever I was fighting light heavyweight. But I just can't make 170. So if that's going to be his excuse, it's like, why are you calling out John Jones? Why are you calling out all these guys that are 205 pounds heavyweights? He's calling out people. It's ridiculous sometimes. It's laughable. And he's calling out boxers like Ryan Garcia. And like, Ryan Garcia is a lot smaller than him, for one, and he's in boxing. And Dillon Danis never had a boxing match in his life. Ryan Garcia will knock him out. Will knock him out cold. And I mean, he knows that, but he's trying to be a troll for Twitter and trying to put on a show. So, I mean, if he really wants to put on a show and he's being legit, then he'll fight me.
Yeah. When would you like to fight again? Like, realistically, like, I know you said kind of quick turnaround. Do you have like a date kind of in mind, a month?
I mean, that's September. I mean, they have fight shows in September. Give my body like a little bit of a break, like a week from the weight cut, and then start dieting down again and everything. Then cut weight the week of again. So just give myself a little bit of a break from the actual cut, not break from training. I'm going to be training right back to normal. But September, if they don't want to do September, October at the latest. I mean, I keep telling Bellator, I want to fight, and they're giving me 6-7 months in between fights, and then 10 months. And I mean, part of that's because of coronavirus, but they didn't have me scheduled until May before that. So, I mean, I want to fight, and I made it known. I said it, and I want to fight Dillon Danis. So, we'll see if he accepts that fight. We'll see if that fight can be made, and if it is, you can expect me to knock him out.
Yeah. All right, Dalton. Thanks so much for the time. Anything before I let you go?
No, sir. Thank you.